The Los Angeles Raiders have found a place in the hearts of those who believe in winning ugly. Despite their 6 victories, they also lead the NFL in turnovers. And against Seattle, number 32, Marcus Allen, was responsible for LA's 25th fumble of the year. Number 57, Shelton Robinson, made the Raiders pay dearly for wearing a game face that only a mother could love. The Raider defense also looked gruesome in allowing quarterback Dave Craig to wait out the secondary, sidestep the pass rush, then hit a wide-open Charlie Young, number 87, in the end zone. The Seahawks closed out the first half with a 17-7 lead, but after the intermission, Mark Wilson threatened to get the Raiders back into the fray by passing for nearly 200 yards and a pair of scores in the final 2 periods. Wilson fired a 4-yarder to number 87, Don Hasselbeck, then later put in a long-distance call to Dokie Williams, number 85. But ultimately, all this beautiful pass play meant was that LA can lose pretty as well as win ugly, because Seattle was pulling out all the stops to beat the Raiders. A fake field goal attempt resulted in holder Jim Zorn's touchdown pass to number 46, David Hughes. And when it was all over, the Seahawks had beaten the Raiders for the second time in 3 weeks. The 34-31 win marked the 100th career victory for Seattle's Chuck Knox, whose head coaching career began with the Los Angeles Rams when they were playing in the same Coliseum that the Raiders now call home. While Chuck Knox was celebrating his 100th win, Houston head coach Chuck Studley would have been satisfied with his first NFL victory. At Cleveland, Studley mulled over his options and decided that the aerial route was the best way to attack the Browns. For a while, it looked like a sound idea. Though number 82, Mike Renfro, was well covered each time Gifford Nielsen sought him in the end zone, the wide receiver responded with a pair of touchdown catches that put Houston on the verge of snapping a 15-game losing streak. Cleveland retaliated with 4 Matt Barr field goals, but it was the one that Barr didn't kick that yielded the biggest dividends for the Browns. On this bogus 3-point attempt, Paul McDonald lobbed the ball to tackle Doug Deacon, number 73, who had lined up as a tight end on the play. At the end of regulation time, the score stood at 19 apiece. Then in the extra stanza, number 30, Boyce Green, provided the Browns with a 25-19 win and their second overtime victory of the year. This 5-period affair was the 14th of 1983, and as such, it established a new NFL record for most overtime games in a season. The Oilers have come out on the short end in 3 of those contests. If they continue their losing ways, they could become part of league history again. The NFL record for most consecutive losses is 26. Hitting the road had been no problem for Bud Grant's Minnesota Vikings this season. Prior to their visit to St. Louis last weekend, the Vikes were traveling in style by claiming victories in all 4 of their games away from home. One reason for their success has been the play of quarterback Steve Dills, who has filled in for the injured Tommy Kramer in workmanlike fashion. Against the Cardinals, Dills passed for over 300 yards and a pair of touchdowns, including one to Sam McCullum, number 84. While the Vikings have eagerly hopped aboard the Dills bandwagon, this game found the Cardinal defense eagerly hopping aboard Dills. Number 65, David Galloway, was the principal nemesis who hounded Dills throughout the afternoon. The Viking signal caller found himself playing a frustrating game of catch-up, and he was unable to keep pace with Neil Lomax in the St. Louis offense. Number 81, Roy Green, snagged 2 of Lomax's 3 scoring passes, while number 32, Otis Anderson, chipped in with over 130 yards rushing and a touchdown, as St. Louis earned a 41-31 upset victory. While the Vikings retained their 2-game lead in the NFC Central, this marked the first time that Bud Grant had hit the road, and the road hit back. Like their lazy-looking mascot, the Cincinnati Bengals have been tame tigers for most of the 1983 season. But against Green Bay, they finally awakened from their season-long slumber and played with an animal abandon their nickname is supposed to inspire. The Bengals got some on-the-field inspiration, though, from their defense, which literally knocked the air out of the Packers' potent passing attack, limiting them to 2 touchdowns. On offense, Turk Schonert single-handedly supplied all the points Cincinnati needed. Schonert's skillful sidestepping from the blitzing thrust of Packer linebacker Mike Douglas led to this scrambling score. While in the air, Ken Anderson's understudy had his finest day as a pro, hitting his first 2 touchdown passes of his career. This one to number 86, Steve Kreider, sealing the Bengals' 34-14 win. While the Bengals were enjoying their first real laugher of the season, crying was in order for the Tampa Bay Bucks, who let a 12-0 fourth-quarter lead, and their first victory slipped helplessly from their grasp. This sleight of hand by Buck receiver Kevin House served as a good, swift kick in the pants for Pittsburgh, who realized just how fortunate they were to have turned the ball over 7 times and still be in the game. With 8:42 remaining, Cliff Stout finally capitalized on that good fortune, scoring Pittsburgh's first points with this touchdown strike to rookie receiver Wayne Capers. The Steelers then mounted a fast-paced let's not lose to Tampa at home routine, led by still another newcomer, rookie punt returner Paul Scansey, number 81. Scansey's 57-yard punt return set up a Gary Anderson field goal, and in the game's waning moments, Frank Pollard put the Bucks away for good with this 2-yard touchdown plunge. Pittsburgh's 17-12 comeback win was no doubt well-deserved, but considering the way Tampa Bay neatly gift wraps victories for their opponents, it was really a case of Christmas in October for the Steelers. A much better example of what happens when one NFL team turns the ball over just 1 too many times to another could be found last Sunday in Atlanta. The New England Patriots lost their grip on the football 5 times against the Falcons. Subsequently, they lost their grip on the game. In fact, New England was never in it. The Falcons made the most of every Patriot misfire. On the final play of the first half, they went up 17-0 when number 74 rookie Mike Pitts jarred the ball from Steve Grogan into the hands of another rookie, linebacker John Rady, who ran it in for an easy score. Atlanta then extended their lead to 24-0 on this Steve Bartkowski scoring strike to number 81, Billy Johnson. The Falcons breezed to a 24-13 win, and once again the man they call White Shoes strutted his victory stuff in the end zone. But if there is one team in the NFL that has good cause to be dancing with feverish joy these days, it's the high-flying Denver Broncos. The red-hot Broncos have been stepping lively of late. They took a 3-game winning streak into their game with Kansas City and came away with 4 in a row, although number 4 proved to be no leisurely waltz. Denver quarterback Steve DeBerg disregarded the fact that Kansas City was the league's number 1 defense against the pass, as he shredded the Chiefs secondary for 350 yards. Number 80, Rick Upchurch, hauled in 6 DeBerg passes for 143 yards, while teammate Steve Watson matched his total, catching 6 for 121 yards, including this 46-yard touchdown bomb. Denver marched out to a 27-10 lead, then held on barely as chief quarterback Bill Kenny led a furious fourth-quarter Kansas City comeback. Kenny netted 365 aerial yards, including this touchdown toss to Carlos Carson, but it proved to be a whole lot of yards coming way too late. The Broncos prevailed 27-24. For the Broncos, they earned a share of the AFC West lead. For the Chiefs, well, this much improved team is beginning to earn some respect around the league. The New Orleans Saints, marching to the best start in their history, were stopped cold last Sunday in Buffalo. Saints quarterback Ken Stabler got off just 6 passes before leaving the game with bruised ribs. One of those passes wound up in the hands of Bills cornerback Charles Romes, number 26. Romes was ruled down at the 45-yard line, but that didn't curb the Bills' first-half momentum. Quarterback Joe Ferguson shook off a shutout loss to New England the week before and responded with a textbook misdirection play. With most of the Bills going right, Ferguson looked left and spotted rookie tight end Tony Hunter, number 87. The 40-yard touchdown was Hunter's first as a pro and the second of 4 Ferguson touchdown passes on the day. 2 more went to backup wide receiver Mike Mosley, number 88. Buffalo built a 20-0 lead before the Saints were revived by second-string quarterback Dave Wilson. Wilson threw 3 touchdown passes, including one to tight end John Tice, but the comeback came up short, 27-21. The win kept the Bills tied for first in the AFC East. New Orleans lost a beat and dropped to 5-4. They're hardly down for the count in the NFC West. If there is one team that needs some different drummers to turn their beat around, it's Joe Walton's New York Jets. Picked to win it all, the Jets are firmly entrenched in last place in the AFC East. And most of the year, they've been running for their lives. The 49ers set out to bury the Jets, but The Undertaker is here to say that the New Yorkers got new life in San Francisco. Lamb Jones' 28-yard scoring pass from Richard Todd put New York in front to stay, and the Jets' defense held 49er running backs to 35 total yards and picked off 2 Joe Montana passes. Holmes' 43-yard interception return for a touchdown sealed New York's 23-17 win. While the Jets are still in last place, the game may well be the turning point they are looking for. The Eagles' Harold Carmichael, the NFL's 5th all-time leading receiver, suddenly finds himself sharing the spotlight in Philadelphia with second-year man Mike Quick. On Sunday against the Colts, number 17 proved he doesn't mind helping out the new kid. After 574 career catches, Carmichael threw his first touchdown pass ever and helped Mike Quick become the league leader in receiving yards. Carmichael matched Quick in the third period with a scoring reception of his own from Ron Jaworski. But all the Eagles' pace-setting performances couldn't beat the NFL's youngest team. Boasting the league's #1 running game, Colt runners attacked the Birds for 233 yards. Randy McMillan's 39-yard touchdown run, plus 5 Raul Alegre field goals, dealt Philadelphia their second straight one-point loss, 22-21. While it appeared the Colts were the ones to fall, it was the Eagles who took a giant step backward. And at 4-5, they faced the dismal prospect of playing catch-up with the Cowboys and Redskins in the playoff race in the NFC East. Goggles are appropriate equipment for a running back who soars far above the competition. With each week, Eric Dickerson continues to prove, even as a rookie, he has the right stuff. Last week, Dickerson became the first back of the season to break the runner's sound barrier as his 101 rushing yards put him over the 1,000-yard mark. This 2-yard touchdown upped Dickerson's league-leading total to 13. Unfortunately for Los Angeles, the rest of the Ram offense never got off the ground. Three Miami interceptions helped keep the controls in the hands of the Dolphins' rookie pilot Dan Marino. Marino, 1983's only proof that a rookie quarterback can excel in the NFL, passed for 2 touchdowns. Number 13 also ran for a score. However, the bulk of the rushing duties were handled by Tony Nathan and number 20, a long overdue David Overstreet. Miami outgained the Rams by over 50 yards on the ground as Tony Nathan ran circles around the NFL's second-best rushing defense. Nathan's touchdown helped boost the Dolphins to a 30-14 win, keeping them tied for first in the AFC East. The loss dropped the Rams to 5-4. However, they are still in the fight for the top spot in the NFC West. There was some fighting going on in Chicago last Sunday, but it wasn't over the division lead. The Bears and Lions simply don't particularly care for one another. The bad blood that came to a boil in Detroit's Week 7 victory was still flowing strong. Only the Bear offense seemed to be experiencing circulation problems. Chicago's 4 turnovers proved costly as quarterback Eric Hipple went right for the Bears' throat. A touchdown pass to number 89 Jeff Chadwick was Hipple's only scoring toss of the afternoon, only because he found it more effective to simply hand the ball off to his running backs. The Lions rushed for 4 touchdowns against Chicago, but not without a little help from their feisty signal caller. Detroit turned the Bears' blood cold with a 38-17 victory, giving the Lions their 3rd win in 4 games and a season sweep over their division rivals. In the Meadowlands, the Giants were desperate to avoid a season sweep by the Dallas Cowboys. Rob Carpenter's second quarter touchdown tightened the score to 17-14. But in a game that was supposed to feature the Giants' defense against the Cowboys' offense, it soon became obvious a more appropriate billing would have been the Doomsday defense versus the Big Apple turnover. Only the Raiders have coughed up the football more times than New York, as Danny White had a field day with the help of 6 giant turnovers. White threw for over 300 yards and a career-high 5 touchdowns, including 2 to wide receiver Tony Hill, number 8. While Dallas has been forced to come from behind on numerous occasions this season, against the Giants, 2 early fourth-quarter scores allowed the Cowboys the luxury of coasting to an easy 38-20 win. In a week that featured its share of upsets, this was not to be one of them. While Dallas appears to have what it takes, boasting a league-leading 8-1 record, the 2 6-1 Giants are one NFL team definitely lacking the right stuff.